Life Attack Destiny.
Good morning, and pleasant day to you all. I just saw a video or heard a video, and I feel like somebody else needs to hear this. So essentially, what the video is saying is reminding you to be mindful of the thoughts of what you're repeating to yourself on a regular basis. Be mindful of the narrative that is playing on the inside, that inner narrative that a lot of times we hear it, but we're not paying attention to it. Like, it's just playing on like autoplay in the background. But if you're not conscious of it, then your background narrative, what's being played in the background, is actually keeping you stuck in a loop. If you're not paying attention to what your thoughts are, those thoughts are what is keeping you in a loop. Because a lot of times we are repeating old programming. We're repeating old programming. We're saying the same things over and over again, things that we have told ourselves based on things that others have said about us. And I feel like, Spirit says, speak on this, because this is the reminder that a lot of us need, is to check our thoughts. We need to check our thoughts. We need to check that narrative of what is playing on the inside. One of my clients, I would say this often to my clients, right? And one of them said to me, they had not realized the story they had been telling to themselves about themselves. But when they stopped and really evaluated what was playing, I want to say subconsciously, but it translates into our conscious because of what it says. What it says is how we function, is how we move, is what we it's the direction that we take, And so the client was saying, it wasn't until I really stopped and caught myself having one of those thoughts that says you're not going to succeed, or one of those thoughts that says you are not worthy of the thing that you desire. When the client said that, and that was just recently too, but the video I saw was today, and it was basically saying that you have to really be so conscious about the thoughts that you are feeding yourself, the same way you have to be conscious about the food you are consuming. What you take in is what you project outward. Like, even if you are, how did that saying go? You are what you eat. So what you are consuming and digesting is what is coming outward. Feed yourself good, nourishing foods. Feed yourself good and nourishing thoughts. Feed yourself good and nourishing programming that supports where you're trying to go, who you're trying to become, what you're trying to do in this life, and that is what will help you to achieve it. But if you keep repeating to yourself, oh, I can't do this because somebody else already did it, or sometimes our parents are our biggest saboteurs. Unpopular thought, but it's true. Sometimes our parents are our biggest saboteurs, because they implant within us thoughts that shape how we live our lives, how we see ourselves on a regular basis. So basically, I don't want to belabor this, because that was the message, is really to be mindful of your thoughts. What you talk, or how you talk to yourself on the inside, is what manifests on the outside. And so I think Spirit wants wanted me to remind somebody to be mindful of the thoughts of how you speak to yourself. Be mindful of the repetitive thoughts that you keep replaying. When they come up for you, you have to interrupt them. You have to interrupt those thoughts and put something else in its place. Something more positive, something that feeds you, something that is going to help you become, get to, or embody who that person that you are destined to be. Not the narrative that keeps you from that space, keeps you from being, keeps you from doing. Not that narrative. X that out. Hit eject. Get rid of that. Rip the tape out the cassette. Get rid of that. And replace that with something that is more promoting of who it is that you really truly desire, and who you really see yourself as inside. Not what has been told to you, how you see yourself, how you want to see yourself. You have to start speaking that. Let that narrative now catch hold, and let that narrative be what plays. And every so often you got to revise it, because you are revising yourself through every change. You become different. Through every change you become different. So your narrative, that inner narrative is going to change over time too. Okay, that's the message. That's what I got. So I hope this message hits somebody. I know it when I hear things like that, it does make me more conscious to be more uplifting to how I speak to myself. How I'm so conscious in the words that I speak, not just to myself, but over anybody else also. Because I don't want to curse nobody, but I also don't want the words that I say to be something that causes them to be held up either. Held up or held back. So, yeah, that's the message I got for you. That's it. So, have a pleasant day, and I'll see you again soon.